Everybody, welcome back to Marine Corps Movie Minute, where we're breaking down movies in the Marine Corps 1 minute at a time. I'm Jack,
I'm Brian.
and so today we're doing minute number 85, Heartbreak Ridge. This one's a pretty good one. It's got some good lead up to some cool scenes in the future. So let's get cracking. So the minute begins with First Platoon and Recon kind of witnessing each other to the on their way to the objective. And the first words are, "Oh darn!"
Yeah.
Didn't ring.
Language.
Yeah, language, right? And it ends with matchup. So let's tear into this.
Yeah, so it begins and ends with two words, and that's it.
Yeah,
Oh darn and matchup.
matchup.
Or is matchup one word?
I could probably go either way.
I think it.
And it was a Marine that said it, so chances are it's probably even misspelled.
Yeah. I thought he was playing like the matching game or something. Like it sounds like something on like the game show network.
Yeah, yeah. There's like a panel of three guys and there's Stitch.
Yeah.
I don't know. A dating show.
Yeah, I'm saying it's a dating guy. Yeah, it's a dating game. Matchup. All right. So how you been, man?
Good. It's fucking hot here in Texas these days.
I think it's hot everywhere, dude.
Yeah, but I forgot what the humid. I grew up out here, man. I forgot what it was like being all with the hot and humid.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, you being where you're at.
Oh yeah,
It's hot and humid.
Yep, exactly. We've definitely been through it, and I'm still living it. But well, actually, I'm glad you say that because that's a setup, and you didn't even realize it. So
Setup.
Yeah, setup. Nice. We're gonna get some more information about this next minute, but this scene, of the recon and first platoon out, basically trying to reach a destination. They were never really clear what the objective was.
First one to reach the pit.
Yeah, I mean, we don't know that till we see it. It's just like this is the objective. The objective is this pit of water, basically.
Yeah.
But anyways, this was filmed, in the middle of a heat wave and a drought and everything in between.
Yeah.
Well, we'll have a little more information about that next time. But
yeah,
I thought it was funny that you're talking about a heat wave and we're like, well, how, in 1986 there was a heat wave in San Diego. Yeah, I actually found I was trying to find a little information about it, and it was just the only thing I found was like this article from it was like the LA Times from 1986, and it was record heat, electric use. Woo! It was another hot one. More to come. It was just talking about how like they've set like all sorts of records as far as like electricity usage and stuff like that back in '86. They're like it was worse than the record that we set in August of '85. So apparently they've been writing these articles for 30 years, 30, 40 years. So
well, it's a hot one. Like, yeah, no shit.
Is it hot enough for you out there? I thought it was neat. I don't know if it's neat. I just said that, but I like what you said. I like how, okay, let's just start right from the beginning.
Mulligan.
What we'll get into this minute here, like you said already, it starts with Lieutenant Ring looking up and going, "Oh darn!" Because what it is these two platoons basically are realize that each other are at the same basic point at the same time. Like,
yeah,
as Lieutenant Ring is saying, "Oh darn!" Well, actually, before that, you can see Stitch Jones in the background, and he's got a straw of like hay, and he's chewing on, and he looks like his jaw's about to drop.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, shit, exactly. And then you see after he says, "Oh darn," you see First Platoon and Webster's like, "It's highway, sir." He says, "Major, it's highway." and of course Powers' reaction was, "Damn." So basically First Platoon has the high ground and Recon's kind of going uphill in order to reach the same objective, but they both get there at about the same time. Gunny basically says, well, let's, basically, come on, guys, let's smoke them. I know we were just watching a minute right before we started recording. I didn't notice this. I mean, I noticed Gunny Highway pulling something like on his strap, and
Yeah.
and I've noticed that every time. But it dawned on me, I'm like, did they just drop all their gear?
Yep. They sure did.
Yeah, exactly. And you could see it. You could see it on the ground. What you pointed out, while you said before we were recording, is they were the only platoon. Of course, there's only two platoons, but they had gear and are running uphill now. Where first platoon didn't have any gear. I mean, not any like they had like a rucksack. First platoon only had like I guess what we call it, the deuce gear.
Yeah. Yeah. The harness. Yep.
But Recon was in full pack.
Yep. Yeah. Which I thought it's a little odd. They're just out there and like just Kevlars and rifles. That's it.
I mean, obviously we saw.
Is it must be that some of that favoritism again? You know.
Well, yeah, for sure, possibly. I mean, that's an in-story reason. Plus, you got to factor too. Recon jumped out of a helicopter,
Yep.
so they were probably simulating training for real. Who knows what First Platoon's doing? But you're right, favoritism with Major Powers. He doesn't want to carry a rucksack. He doesn't want to go in full pack and 85 pounds, or more on
Yeah.
your back.
That shit's heavy.
Yeah, it gets heavy real fast, especially when you're fucking humping. Both platoons basically make a run for it. I noticed right before they take a run for it, before first platoon starts running, there's this big dude. He's pretty tall. I wouldn't say he's like super muscular. He's a pretty big guy, and he's standing right between Webster and Powers. And I think we're going to see him in a minute or so. Get a little bit more information about him. But he's a pretty big guy. They stand in there, and of course, they take off, and everybody just starts yelling and running and making a break for it. And I was noticing the way this was filmed. And I don't know if it's just a perspective thing or if it's just the way it was filmed. But so you see like a side view of both platoons where Recon's up on the ridge. No, I'm sorry. First platoon's up on the ridge. Like I said, they had the high ground, and Recon's running uphill. But the whole time it looks like Recon is far in the lead.
Yes.
At least,
or they've got a good start on them.
Yeah, exactly. But then when you cut to, they make a cut and you're like literally the camera's in the pit. Now you can see them running towards the pit, both platoons. Now they look pretty even, but if you notice, and I was paying attention, Recon is clearly got one guy ahead of first platoon's guy that's in the lead too. I mean, they're all kind of there in a cluster.
Right.
But there's one guy that's specifically, he actually has his rifle over his head.
I think it's Stitch.
It is Stitch. Yeah, it is. I was going to ask you if you thought it was. I was almost positive it was Stitch Jones.
Yeah.
He gets there first, and he jumps into the water. And it's clear he gets there first, and he breaks the water, the plane of the water.
Yeah, he jumps in. Yeah, he jumps in like he's a kid. He's like, "Yeah, I made it."
Yeah, exactly. But then, and everybody's shouting like they won, and actually, right before he gets there, you notice there's a government vehicle there. It's like a Bronco or something, or a Suburban.
Yeah.
Somebody gets out in the midst of all this running, and we see right after it's Chuzu. Now, are you watching the minute right now?
Yes, I am. It's right there. And yep, he's like, "Yep," and yep.
Second 30, our buddy Pete Koch runs right into him.
I got to see it.
I mean, because he's walking, and all the Marines are, of course, running, and I noticed somebody clipped them. And what I think happened is, if you look, it's all the gear, like the canteens and all the shit, the packs on the back of like the Alice, the deuce gear, I should say. And it kind of clips him, but you could tell that it kind of stumbles him. He gets bumped into. Motherfucker, somebody ran into Chuzu, and of course, I'm like, I don't think that was intentional. And I kept looking at his ass. Yeah. Well, turns out that was old Pete Koch. I look because I'm like, well, first off, this guy's big, and secondly, he's got an M60. Hey, we know that guy.
We happen to know somebody that fits that bill quite comfortably.
Exactly. So, I wish when we had Pete on that I could have asked him about that. I wish I'd seen that before. I would have asked him about it. What what? My guess is, he's just so amped up to win, and he's a football player, hasn't hit anybody in a while. He's just like, yeah. It's right at second 30, and you can tell he doesn't do it on purpose. He clips him with that with the gear, but it does stumble him.
Yep. He's right there in the fray. It's awesome.
So they both get there at the same time. Obviously, though, Stitch is, I mean, hands down, Stitch gets there first.
Yeah.
We have video evidence. If Chuzu had instant replay that he could have gone back to, there was enough photographic evidence to rule in his favor, in Recon's favor. But there's definitely an official on the field that is trying to influence. Well, there's definitely somebody from the other team attempting to influence the official on the field, I should say.
Yeah. Order you is my umpire to give me what I want.
Yeah, exactly. Who is he, Bill Belichick?
Speaking of videoing on the field.
Yeah, exactly. What's his name? Clint Eastwood in Gunny Highway immediately is like, "Hey, Recon's the winner." Powers says, "Gunny, you don't know your place. First platoon is the winner." You know, I think he said the victor. Chuzu, who's the umpire, and he's like, that's not. We seem to have a dilemma. Sergeant Major, as my umpire, I order you to declare me the victor. And he says, "Sir, that just wouldn't be fair." He said,
Yeah.
"Well, what do you propose to do about it, Sergeant Major?" And he said, "Match up."
Matchup.
Noticing the conviction on his face, I think he saw this coming. That even before, like they basically got there at the same time. He was going to use this opportunity to like he basically had this plan. He knew this was what was going to happen if they tied. Let's say.
Yeah.
You know, I always talk about like, well, everybody's a kiss ass in this movie.
Yeah.
I said, and at times Chuzu was like, oh, whatever, and I've given him a little shit. There was conviction in his voice when he was like, "Sir, that wouldn't be fair," and he's like got a stern look on his face.
Yep. Like, no, I'm not doing that.
And as soon as they asked him well, how are we going to resolve this? And he's like, matchup. He knew exactly what he wanted them to do, and he proposed it immediately.
Yep.
We don't get to see what matchup is.
Yeah, not in this scene.
Whatever it is, though, Stitch Jones is excited about it. You see the look on his face where he's like, he gets excited, like he's got a big smile, and he's like, look, like, "Yo, really, really? Because we got this." There was one little bit of business I noticed when they first get there, and Powers and Highway are kind of debating who's the winner.
Mhm.
Moses Gunn has this little bit of business where he's like holding his heart, and his eyes bug out at one point. Like he looks like he's about to die.
Yeah.
He's breathing hard, and he's got, he's like, I'm
Baby,
trying
I'm coming home to you.
Yeah, basically. I mean, he's like, "It's fucking hot out. I'm about to die. I just had to run." If you notice, some of these dudes in the back, they're all breathing heavy because I think they really did run. I don't know. Again, I wish I could have asked Pete how many times they filmed this, but this is a little spoiler, things to come. But I think he mentioned
Yeah.
they did this like a lot of times they did what like 2-3 scenes. They had to do everything in order, so it's not like they had probably didn't do a lot of reshoots for these particular scenes. It was kind of like not reshoots, but like multiple takes. Is what I'm trying to say.
Right. Yeah. When getting there, yeah, probably different cameras. Set up
Yeah,
a camera and make sure everything's all ready to go, and then, yep.
yeah. I mean, or that could explain why they're all basically dying because it's like 1,000 degrees high, 100% humidity, and they've
Yeah.
been running in full gear.
Well, and also too, Moses Gunn was a substantially older gentleman than you get the impression of in the movie. Like
Oh yeah, yeah.
he's pretty seasoned.
I forget. We looked them up at one point, but like Clint Eastwood was like 56 at this time. Of course, that dude, was running until he was like 85. But
Yeah.
Moses Gunn, I think was if he wasn't 60, he was pushing it.
Yeah.
Seems like he's in decent shape, but he's probably not in Clint Eastwood shape.
Yeah.
But even like some of the actual Marines, in the background, they look exhausted too.
Those hills, man, those hills will take it out of you. I'm telling you.
I mean, you even look at Mike Gomez is Keone is a standard, and he's got like this shit looking look on his face because he's probably exhausted. But I noticed something when actually there's a couple things I noticed as I'm going through in a minute. But so I told you, Moses Gunn is basically trying not to have a heart attack, and while
Yeah.
choosing deciding what to do. So at second, I'm just going to show right. Let me just look. So about second 38 between Powers and Webster, there's I believe a real Marine, and he's got his chin strap on his helmet.
Mm-hmm.
So the cuts over to Chuzu and Highway, and it cuts back, and it's right at second 47.
Oh yeah. No more chin strap.
No, more chin. That fucking guy's John Wayne all of a sudden,
Yeah. Yeah, they pulled that popped it, and then yep. That's awesome.
Now, when I first saw that, I didn't realize he actually had his chin strap on in an earlier, minute or second. But I was like, look at that John Wayne motherfucker right there.
Yes, and for those of y'all that don't know, that is a no-no. You don't do that.
And yeah, and there was a few times that, guys didn't strap it up right or and it came undone, and they would be like, holy shit, we had John Wayne in our platoon. I had no idea. Look at this. This guy thinks he's fucking John Wayne. Of course, the DIs are all over your ass. And,
yeah. Yeah,
John Wayne.
Yeah, most times the buttons are all rusted. They don't snap right anyway.
Yeah. So because they told us early on, like, you're not John Wayne, you snap the fucker up.
Yep, keep it on your head.
Yeah, it's not Santa Iwo Jima and all that shit. But if you ever didn't have it and they caught you, they would be like, holy shit, it's John Wayne,
And those Kevlars are not comfortable, man. They don't sit right.
Nah, mine never seemed to fit right on me. I just, I fucking hated it.
Yeah.
And of course, I'm teasing this Marine now, and he'd probably kick my ass now and then.
So here's the question. Recon has packs, but they get to wear the boonies cover. First platoon, no pack, but they have to wear that Kevlar. What would you rather do?
Oh, I'd rather wear well, I don't know, because that's a good question. I hate that fucking helmet, and it fucking kills your neck after a while, I think.
Yeah.
But at the same time, that fucking extra fucking pounds for nothing.
Yeah.
Oh man, that sucks. I don't know. That's a tough call. I would have to, honestly, I'd probably have to go overall wear the goddamn helmet.
You wearing a helmet?
Yeah.
I would have to go Recon, man. I'd have to go Recon.
You have to go Recon and but have the extra pounds that you're humping around in that heat.
Yeah, I would rather have the pack.
Yeah.
Because you don't really know what's in the pack. I mean, hell, the pack just might be full of, skivvy rolls.
Well, true. And of course, this is a movie, but in real life, they always say, like, yeah, pack this in, you got to pack this in. So that way you get a certain amount of weight that you're supposed to simulate or whatever. And it's usually like your fucking sleeping bag and your fucking, what is it? The entrenching tool and
the E-tool. Yeah.
bunch of other shit. Yeah. Now he says matchup. Would you, and we've joked earlier that it's like the dating game or whatever, but like would if somebody just said matchup, Stitch Jones gets excited like he knows what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
Would you know what the fuck Chuzu was talking about if he said matchup?
No, I wouldn't, because we didn't know. So this might have been something that they were used to.
Yeah.
Like for PT or whatever, or this might not be the first time that they've ever had to do this. They may have had, so it, I don't know, man. It's all speculation. Everybody seems to know what's going on when they say matchup. So I don't know if this has ever been the first time where they've ever just won or not. Like if this is like, because it seems like there's been a lot of these little exercises where Recon's pitted against first, and so I don't know, man. I don't know.
Yeah, it's weird because we've talked about, or we will talk about, how we've done stuff similar to this with minus the water, but it was never called like matchup. And I think matchup is like a generic term for just like two sports teams or two opposing teams being pitted against each other, that type of thing. It's also, I think, a slang for like weed or some shit like that too. But I don't think that's what Chuzu meant. I wouldn't have automatically just known that he says. I mean, obviously, you can take from context that both platoons are going to match up somehow, but I don't think that means take your shirt off and get in the water.
Yeah.
Which, spoiler alert, that's what's about to happen.
Yeah. Yeah, they're about to have a little wrestling match in that water.
Yeah, I mean, obviously it makes sense that they're pitting the two against each other and they're going to, the victor wins. So it's a little extra bit of training, I guess they'll be doing with a little bit of maybe fun.
Yeah.
Actually, one thing I noticed when we were talking is after when they first say, when the platoons first get there, they split off on either side. First platoon gets on the left of Chuzu, and Recon gets on the right. And those guys are kind of like in each other's faces a bit and throwing some birds around and shit. And they're talking shit to each other. And there's definitely some
bad blood.
Yep. So it's kind of funny. But Do you have anything else you want to cover on this, man? I really don't.
No, nope. Oh, sorry, God, it's been a long day.
Yeah,
uh,
yeah, yeah. It's like
um,
we sound like we just ran with these guys.
that's shit. That's what I need to be doing.
I know, right?
No, man. I'm really excited for everybody when they get to hear the coming minutes. Yeah, I think you already kind of let the cat out of the bag, but yeah, it's gonna be. So there's some good stuff coming.
Yeah. We don't have to be so coy with it. Everybody tune back in on Wednesday for Min 86. So we got a newly appointed, anointed friend of the show, Pete Koch, sweet himself's coming back and gonna drop some knowledge about what happened while they filmed this basically this scene and what happens after this next minute.
Yeah, it's good stuff.
Yeah. So a little tease for Wednesday.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. But no, man, I got nothing else for this one here. I wonder how long Choose is sitting out there in that goddamn heat in his little vehicle, his little govy.
Yeah. Oh, you know what? Sorry, I'm glad you brought that up because I did actually have that one last thing. Do you think he has that vehicle, the government vehicle, because Gunny still hasn't given his damn truck back to him?
Yes, I absolutely do. He had to check it out like a library book.
I mean, granted, he's an enlisted man, but rank has his privileges. He had to go get a freaking government vehicle just so he could drive around.
Yeah. You so you get to work on time.
If you notice too, I know we talked about this previously when they were at the rifle range
Mhm.
and they had a driver. Oh, you know what? It's maybe because he was Major Powers was with him. I was just gonna say, if you notice, Chuzo looks like he's driving himself.
Mhm. Yeah, I don't see an A driver.
Yeah, I think the reason that, and I was gonna say there, I'm like, oh well, I'm surprised they did that, but
It was just him.
yeah, it was just him, and I think it's because of when it was an officer that they can't drive themselves, and that's what it is. So,
Uh,
all right, that explains that away. But other than that, I really don't have anything else, and I've already asked people to come back on Wednesday. So,
yeah. You'll keep coming back.
yeah, keep coming back. So yeah, just so you know, thanks everybody. Perry, as the co-host of the Marine Corps Movie Minute podcast, I order you to declare this the best Marine Corps podcast out there.
That just wouldn't be fair.
Perfect. I should say, what do you propose we do about it?
Say what?
But Perry, as my podcasting host, I order you to declare me the best podcaster and host in the. That's stupid. um, let me see. Maybe I can make it work, but I had it written down and everything, and it sucked.
And it sucked.
Let's see. Yeah, you know what it is? I lost my confidence. I was like, oh,
You
I
gotta
gotta
own
do
it, man.
I know I gotta own it. I order you. Um,
That wouldn't be fair, Billy.
yeah, yeah. See, there you go. I'll tell you what. Let me try it again. Perry, as our co-host. Let me try it again.